Hi, this is Casting On, and I'm Alex Capshaw Taylor of World Knits. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to work the German twisted cast on. The German twisted cast on is similar to the long tail cast on. However, you do an extra twist when you're casting on, and that ends up adding more yarn to your cast on edge, which makes it a little bit more elastic. So what you're going to do is, just like with the long tail, you're going to start with a long tail of yarn. You need approximately 1/2 inch per stitch that you're casting on. So I have my tail and I have my working yarn that's attached to my ball, and what I'm going to do is drape the tail over my thumb and the working yarn over my first finger, and then I'm going to grab those 2 strands with my other 3 fingers and make kind of like a slingshot. And I'm going to take my knitting needle and stick it in the middle of that V that I've just created and pull it back, so now it really looks like a slingshot. I'm going to go under and around the yarn that's on my thumb, back into the hole. I'm going to roll around, grab the piece of yarn that's on my first finger, and if I twist this around, I kind of have an X right there. I'm going to go in between those 2 legs of that X and pull the stitch onto my needle. So the first time you do this, you're going to get 2 stitches, and this just saves you from having to create a slip knot to begin. So again, I'm going to pull down so that it looks like I have a slingshot. And I'm going to go all the way around, underneath and around the yarn that's on my thumb, back into the hole that's on my thumb, roll my wrist around, grab the yarn that's on my first finger, and pull it back through into that hole kind of between the X on my thumb and onto my needle. And I've just cast on another stitch. So again, under both on my thumb and around, back into that hole, roll around, grab the yarn that's on my first finger, and pull it back into the thumb loop and tighten it onto my needle. And you'll do this for the required number of stitches that your pattern is telling you to cast on. And so much of this cast on is just muscle memory, just like the long tail cast on. Once you get that muscle memory down, it'll be a breeze to cast on these stitches. So what I want to do now is I'm going to show you the difference between the German twisted and the long tail, what it looks like on your needle. So now I'm still doing the German twisted. Okay, and next I'm just going to do the long tail. And with the long tail, I'm not going in, underneath and around. I'm just going straight into that loop on my thumb. And you'll see, after I cast on a couple of these, the difference in the height of the cast on. Okay, so here, this is the German twisted, and you can see that there's extra yarn there. And then at this point here, this is where I started doing the long tail. So you can see that the long tail is actually shorter than that German twisted. And that's because we didn't put that extra twist of yarn into our cast on. So this German twisted is great if you're trying to cast on for like socks or a hat band, anything that needs a little bit extra elasticity in that cast on edge. Versus this long tail, which is also a great cast on, but just not as elastic as the German twisted. This has been Casting On, and I'm Alex Capshaw Taylor of World Knits, and happy knitting!